there's always a way out. Always a way out. Life is like a maze sometimes. We get too wrapped up into our own belief systems and trying to make it work the way we want to make it work. So we run into this impossible problem. We try to solve it with our own mind, our own will, our own cleverness. It never works because the design of it is to bring you closer to your faith, to bring you closer to the divine, the source, God, whatever you want to call that. So a lot of times these impossible problems just crack us open to the point where we have to surrender, and surrender is the way out. One time I was in Hawaii with my guru, and I was a young man, 33 or so, and 2 kids at home, young kids. And I was out there for 10 days. We had 1 day off, and I decided to go surfing. All I wanted to do was go surfing, and it was a heavy surf warning that day. I had no business going in the water, and I got in the water, and the first time I almost lost my life was when this set of buildings disguised as waves hit me, and I was way out there, and I got tossed underneath and came up for a sip of air at another giant. Anyway, I made it through that, and I'm sitting on the board, and I thought I'd made it through the impossible problem. But then I realized I was on the surfboard moving about 30 miles an hour in a stream of water that was rushing out of the bay. All this water had come in the bay, now it had to go out, and it was going out like 30 miles an hour, and I was in this stream that was headed directly between the waves and the cliff, big cliff. And I had been told it was certain death if I ended up in this predicament. So we had been chanting to Ganesh every morning at 5 o'clock in the morning, so I started chanting to Ganesh, and as soon as I started chanting to Ganesh with this determination, all of a sudden this hologram opened in front of me. I could still see the cliff, but there was something there, it looked like a kaleidoscope or something, that I knew instinctively to paddle towards. And so I chanting Om Gam Ganapate Namaha, Om Gam Ganapate Namaha, this giant wave was coming in. At the same time, a giant wave was backing itself off the cliff that had already been there. So they formed a point, these 2 waves, one coming off of the cliff and the other coming in from the ocean, and grabbed my surfboard with me on it and lifted me up to the top and placed me down on top of the cliff, and I walked away with only some scratches. So there's always a way out, and it's actually in that moment that we don't think there's a way out that we can surrender and call upon the forces that are all around us all the time that we forget about because we're paying too much attention to what our 5 senses are reporting. So there's always a way out. Always a way out. Take care. Have the best day ever.